So the big question right now seems to be, is Roman Reigns a heel or is Roman Reigns a face? Or for the more casual fan that is watching this, is Roman Reigns a good guy or is Roman Reigns a bad guy? I just think it's nice to be inclusive, and if we were having this conversation in late 1997, Vince McMahon will come in and go, it's definitely passe. If you know, you know. Before we get to SmackDown and see what the big dog does, there's no way to know for sure, but there's still a conversation to be had. So yeah, Roman Reigns may have finally just turned heel. Or maybe he didn't. Why? Here's why. And the most exciting thing about all of this is that WWE finally has the chance to change up Roman Reigns' presentation completely, and that means more to me right now than breathing oxygen. I will say, I always thought he got a bit of a hard ride, but who cares, that's in the past, it's irrelevant. I'm talking about new everything, new music, new attire, new moves, new nickname. New teeth, apparently. Yes, Roman Reigns got his teeth done, maybe Britt Baker did it for him. I mean, that whole dun 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 Shield entrance theme has become like Pavlovian conditioning for the WWE Universe in 2020, in the sense that as soon as they hear it, they just start booing, even if they don't know why they're booing. And while that's not going to be a problem with the Thunderdome, it's still something you want to take into account. Throw it over there, we now exist here, and you don't want to look back that way. And if you want to break this right down too, just portray him like a flipping badass, as we did at SummerSlam, because not only was he wrecking fools, as his t-shirt said, but he was yelling at Braun Strowman, "You were never a monster without me," and then he was yelling at The Fiend, "You couldn't handle the responsibility," which was a little bit strange, I'll grant you that, because what did Roman expect The Fiend to do? Go on media calls, do appearances like, "Oh, yowie wowie." You know, man, that guy's really freaking me out. I don't care about any of that though, I don't care. I just like the fact that Roman Reigns looked ready to kill people. And if he did accidentally kill people, he doesn't care, because he's the brand new Roman Reigns. I was like, you damn right, Roman. At the same time, in terms of his moral stance right now, you can kind of argue it many ways, because I think most of us were a little bit confused when Braun Strowman came out of the swamp and all of a sudden he seemed to be a bad guy, because obviously he was feuding with The Fiend, and while he's not like 100% bad guy, he does lean in that direction. Now there was a cool subplot, some meta-narrative here, but it was like, oh, because Braun Strowman has messed with The Fiend, he's now reverted to his old, get these hands self. But you know, you still had the match, it was still leading towards SummerSlam, and it did muddy the waters a little bit. Waters, swamp match. So when you learn that Roman is back in the mix, you may go, oh, of course, we've turned Strowman into this monster again so he can beat him up, and then he'll take out The Fiend, and we'll just go back to the old Reigns who's all like, truth and happiness and the American way, and then he sits down and has a barbecue. But look, that's just like stepping back into a time warp, and this bald asshole, I know, what do I know, absolutely nothing, I think that's a massive mistake. What's much more interesting is painting these shades of grey and just letting Roman be Roman, because for years now we have heard that the person backstage at WWE events is a much better wrestling character than the wrestling character that's being showcased to us on our television screens. And it always hurts my brain, and it just hurt my brain right then. It's like when I have to sit down and do math, it's just like, hurts. The best thing about somebody going away though is that when they do return, they can come back anew. Think of Chris Jericho, think of The Undertaker, and that is what has fallen into our laps now with the big dog. I would even stop calling him the big dog, but ultimately, who cares? Call him Fido, for I give two hoots. Just make sure he acts like an absolute king. Not Baron Corbin, just make him like a warrior. So given what was on his t-shirt, and again it said wreck everyone and leave, Roman Reigns should start wrecking everyone and leaving, whether they be a good guy, whether they be a bad guy, whether they be a champion, whether they be an absolute jobber. Roman should just see them and go, I'm better than you, I can whoop your ass. So he goes and whoops their ass. And you as the audience can then decide for yourself, well, do I like this person? Do I not like this person? And you can boo and cheer from your house, because we're not allowed to go to shows. Just don't pander to anybody, for the love of everything, just don't pander to them. And I'm not saying anything new here. Nothing coming out of my stupid mouth right now is groundbreaking. I kind of just described Stone Cold Steve Austin, or if you want a more modern example, well, I kind of just described Jon Moxley. Because seriously, think about it. With the tiniest of shifts, Mox could easily become a heel. It all depends who he's targeting. He's the first person to come out, look into a camera as I'm doing now with a microphone and go, you know what? I don't give a crap about anyone, and I don't give a crap about anything but we like him because he seems true to himself. Roman is obviously different because he does come with some baggage, which again is not his fault. Boo, boo, we hate you and we don't know why. So now is the time to forget about positioning and just let him go. And in that sense, he very may well be a heel. For example, if he starts to attack Daniel Bryan, we're all gonna hate Roman Reigns because deep down in our hearts and soul, we all love Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is like the best friend you never had and you just want him to succeed. I don't know why, he just has this innate thing that comes out of the TV and smacks you right in the face. That's what Reigns should be doing, and regardless what you do think about him, he does look cool. Again, the hair, the beard, the teeth. No one's gonna let this go. I'm part of the problem now, but everyone's going, oh, Roman Reigns' teeth. Yes, he got his teeth done. But I just don't want to go back to this idea of the underdog who's fighting uphill. Roman Reigns is an underdog who's fighting uphill. Roman Reigns is an absolute monster who could crush you whenever the hell he wants. And I know you could argue this is what we did before because he beat that guy and this guy and he won this, he won that, Royal Rumble, yeah, we're doing all of this stuff. But it was pitched differently. It was pitched like he was always coming up from underneath. Now I want him to come from the skies and slam somebody in the heart with a lightning bolt. So I just want this version to be so much more aggressive and then sit back and see how it evolves. Then, how do you feel about it? It's totally up to you. If you like him, great. If you don't like him, well, that's great too. I just know that the way he killed Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam was so well done, I was doing backflips. And I saw other people on the internet saying, well, this is going to deter everything with Big E. And I'm like, no, it's not. I now know what I want. I don't give a flub about you, Roman Reigns, versus give me the damn title, my name is Big E. I wouldn't necessarily use those things I've said in a sentence. You know, the SummerSlam tagline was, you'll never see it coming, but you just never know. But that's new, that's fresh, and yeah, if you did pitch Roman as an absolute knob, and he actually managed to either win the title or take away the title from Big E, I would be genuinely upset, but in a good way. If you tell that story correctly, oh my gosh, I will lose my damn mind. And that's because I believe it, I'd be emotional, and I'd be invested. And that's what wrestling is all about, being invested. It hits you right in the tummy. Not tummy, stomach, gut hole. I don't call my stomach tummy. Let's just move on. So yeah, we do have something very exciting here, but you only get one shot at it, and that's not me being hyperbolic, because look at Mustafa Ali. Now I know Roman Reigns is up here and Mustafa Ali is down here, but I'm talking about the idea behind this. Mustafa Ali came back and I was super duper excited, and then he was just on WWE Main Event. Now Roman is never gonna be on a B show, but if you do not pull the trigger on this correctly, and he just does go back to being original Roman Reigns, then all this momentum, and all this love, and all of this excitement, you know where it will be. In the toilet. So take a risk, strike a chord, find other cliches and analogies, but win. This is the chance to win, it's a chance to actually turn him into this star and start making ratings go in the right direction. So I will say please, and I will say thank you, because manners are important. That's the main takeaway I want you to take away from this video. Manners are important. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know. Is Roman Reigns a face? Is Roman Reigns a heel? Or right now, can we just not make up our minds? Can you believe it? He came back. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to What Culture Wrestling. Head over to whatculture.com. There's loads of articles about SummerSlam and Roman. Follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE to stay up to date with what they may do with Roman. And watch more videos here on What Culture Wrestling about Roman. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you very much for watching me. If you'd like more of my opinions on SummerSlam 2020, check out the ups and downs. But otherwise, I'll see ya when I see ya.